West Coast gamers, we're here at Gamer Sanctuary to play Bolt Action. Second game of the new year. We're going to be playing Fallschirmjager versus Americans. Joe and John are teaming up against me again. Alright, so you can see my force here. Zoom in just a little bit. I have 3 squads that have 2 LMGs each. We're using the boltaction.net rules again. So those are kind of my suppression squads. Then I have 2 squads that have 2 assault rifles and 2 Panzerfausts. I have my second lieutenant with his buddy. I have a medic. Yes, it's a medic. I have a sniper and a Panzerschreck team. Back here I have an MMG, a Kettenkrad to pull something awesome, and then a heavy mortar, which I haven't used a heavy mortar yet. I've always been using a medium mortar. The Kettenkrad is going to pull the Nebelwerfer. It says it's a heavy mortar, and they really haven't made a ruling on how you tow that, so I'm going to use the Kettenkrad for now. Lastly, I have the Stummel again. Let's see if we can do better than last game. As a light howitzer and an MMG. Alright, so this is Joe's platoon. He has a first lieutenant leading his platoon. Then he has some engineers with a flamethrower. They're riding in a truck. Everything is veteran except for the truck and the mortar back there. So he has a medium mortar back there. And then 2 squads of veteran tough fighter infantry with, it looks like, 1 BAR each. And some Tommy guns in there. Alright, let's look at John's platoon. So John's platoon here is another American Infantry squad, or platoon. So he has 2 squads of regulars. One has 2 BARs, one has 1 BAR. He has a sniper team back there. His lieutenant. A ranger team right here. And those are vets, right? Mm-hmm. And then an M10, a regular or vet? Regular. M10 tank destroyer, regular. So John's pretty pumped to use that. I'm pretty pumped because I haven't seen one on the table yet. So Fallschirmjager versus American Infantry, some vet, some regular. Let's check it out. Okay, so here you can see a shot of the whole board. We got some hills, some trees, a big field in the middle with some hedgerows. Hedges are just soft cover, they're not bocage. The fields inside are soft cover too because we figure they're tall grass, hard to see. Then we got some buildings, some ruins off to the left, place where somebody hit, and some more hills over here. So you can see just a kind of a European field, farm field, battlefield. We are playing a scenario called Kitty Hawk Down, found it on boltaction.net. I listened to a podcast recently where they talked about it. I can't tell you which one, I'm sorry. I'll link it in the description. What happens is we're going to fight each other, and on a certain turn, an airplane is going to come in from one side and fly, and that is the objective, and it flies a random distance. So then you have to hold that objective and pick up the intel or whatever's in there. Alright, so let's check it out. We are going to deploy, I believe it is half of our forces on the field, and the rest becomes your first wave. Okay, so we have deployment here. It is half of your force. The other half can be in first wave or reserve. I've chosen to put everything else I have in first wave. You can see I have a sniper in this building, an LMG squad right there, heavy mortar, my Stummel truck with light howitzer, MMG team in the middle, and then another LMG squad right there. I just want to put suppressing fire down. The Nebelwerfer does not have a spotter, and it does not have a gun shield. That means is it has to be in the open so it can see. I'm just worried about it getting hit. So we'll see what happens with that. I have my spotter for the mortar over here. John put his rangers in that building with the rangers lead the way. He has a sniper right there. Joe has a spotter over there for his mortar. There is a infantry squad right there. Infantry squad right there. Medium mortar right there. And then John has in first wave the M10, a squad and a lieutenant, and Joe has a lieutenant in first wave and the truck with engineers in reserve. Alright, let's check out what happens after turn 1. Okay, bottom of turn 1. The Germans did a lot this turn. Americans kind of held back. I had a string of order dice, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, and I managed to miss with the Nebelwerfer. The heavy mortar hit the infantry squad in the back, so I got lucky with the first turn 6 on that one. Joe moved up some of his infantry into that building. John brought on his M10 and took a shot at the Stummel and missed. That squad went down, so they didn't do anything this turn. They went down from getting shot at. Joe's mortar needs a 5 to hit my Nebelwerfer next turn. The Rangers moved up and took some shots at my spotter guy, and his sniper, I believe, also took a shot at the spotter guy. I have a suppression squad over here that moved up onto the hill. They ran. I have an assault squad that ran up over here. This suppression squad and the other one took some shots across the field. Didn't really do a whole lot, maybe got a few pins. And the Kettenkrad moved up with the Panzerschreck team inside. The Stummel moved up. He missed with his shots, and Joe missed him with a, or John, sorry, missed him with a shot. So Germans moved up all across the board. What turn is it that the airplane flies in? 3? Okay, so we got another turn to maneuver here before the airplane shows up, and it does explode basically and hit everything within 6. So you don't want to get too far up the board. Rangers. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, so you can see the battlefield as of end of turn 2. I moved some Fallschirmjager assault squads up into the fields here. John took some shots to his Rangers. He took some shots at my suppression squad over here. Nebelwerfer launched a rocket battery over here and missed. That was pretty cool. I got to shoot at 3 targets though. Otherwise, I moved up. I put a bunch of guys on ambush. You can see that. Just in case when the plane lands, and I think I got a little overzealous with those guys from the plane, but when the plane lands, if they start moving infantry towards it, I can start taking shots. I'm also somewhat concerned about that squad over there trying to flank me out. So got a bunch of stuff on ambush. Joe needs a 4 to hit my Nebelwerfer with his mortar. And I am no longer ranged in on anything, so... Oh, big news. John took the first order die and blew up the Stummel. Totally bossed it out. Alright, let's see where the plane lands. Alright, bottom of turn 3. You can see the airplane came in, and it did some pins to my middle assault squad, but they survived. Joe ranged in on the Nebelwerfer and actually did exceptional damage to it, which blew up the piece. It damaged the artillery beyond repair. Over here I had some ambush that shot up a truck that came onto the board with no engineers in it. And my sniper shot at those guys and missed. The rest of the turn, John sniped out my spotter from my mortar, so I'm going to have to move them this turn. And the guys in the house are probably going to take a lot of fire this turn. Oh. And I foobarred with this squad right here, and they shot my lieutenant and killed him horribly. He was standing on the wing of the plane, encouraging his men to go forward, and instead they shot him. Alright, turn 4 is done. You can see things are quickly coming to a head here. I've moved in a lot of Fallschirmjager into that field. They actually wiped out one squad. Joe got a good mortar hit on it, and then a lot of other shooting on them, so they died. My medic is holding the line right there. Reminder that the way to win is to have more order die within 6 inches of that objective, and we chose the objective as the head of the pilot inside the canopy. So you can see over here, Joe has moved in as flankers to fight my Panzerschreck team, who took a lot of shots, but they didn't die. Engineers moved up. John's regulars moved in. Joe's vets moved to the bottom floor of the building. And I just had a kind of a general advance all across my lines. Infantry die are the ones that you need within 6 of that. Alright, so I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of dying this turn. Let's check it out. Top of turn 5. Alright, that's turn 5, and we rolled and the game ended. So there's a massive melee right here, a fracas, if you will. You can see that I have 2 squads of Fallschirmjager, plus another squad of Fallschirmjager, so I have 3 within 6 of the canopy. And they have 2 squads of veteran GIs, and then 1 squad of regulars. So it's a tie, 3-3. Joe attempted to assault with this squad right here onto my LMG squad right here and failed. I did put 2 pins on them during the turn with my MMG and that LMG squad, so that helped quite a bit.
Sniping the NCO too.
Yeah, I sniped the NCO
They failed by 1.
Right. It was tough. You know, sometimes you got to plan out that order to try to make things happen. John actually assaulted the medic. He ran over the wings of the plane and assaulted the medic and killed him to get him into place right here. I figured that would be really easy to take those guys out. 2 squads packing assault rifles or LMGs, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't happen. The dice weren't terrible. I just didn't roll well enough. I did some pins and things, but it doesn't matter if the game ends. So all in all, it was a very close game. I thought I was up pretty well at the beginning, but they turned it back around. They killed the Stummel pretty early on. They killed the Nebelwerfer, although it did nothing this game. It's threatening and it can be pretty cool. But that scenario was really cool. I really liked it. It makes it interesting. You can't just go for static objectives. You have to figure out, you know, how you're going to get to a certain place. So, great game. Check back with us next week, maybe for another battle report. Thanks.